Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Hey, welcome to the Jackie and Laurie Show.
Laurie Kilmartin, shocked to find out that we're back on the air. Jackie Cation here. How's it going, folks?
This is the second one we've done in a day, so,
Right, so it's
hopefully
like
we won't
10
be
a.m.
calling
now.
back last week's, but
Right.
the conversation is still ringing in my ears.
Oh, I'm sure, because we closed on
prison rape.
on prison rape. For or against? Weigh in, folks. Weigh in. But I have things that you came up with that made me laugh.
Yeah.
First of all, somebody sent me an article about Louis C.K. his marketing ploys.
Yeah.
It actually says marketing ploys.
Is it signed off by Louis C.K. or somebody's impression of his marketing ploys?
I believe it's their impression because they're on his email list.
Okay.
Because Louis C.K. is not on Twitter anymore. He's not on Instagram. He's not on Snapchat. He's not on Facebook. Nothing. He only does email.
Sounds like heaven.
Doesn't it?
I love there are retro parts of him. Like, I haven't been to his website in a long time, but it used to be just white with blue links and text, like up until he started selling his specials for
Right.
$5. It was really like, you just got Dreamweaver and you didn't even take one tutorial. You did the very basic HTML work.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It's on marketingland.com.
Okay.
They did an article about how his marketing is genius.
Okay.
First of all, the guy's a genius no matter what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, the
yeah.
way he stands
Yeah, that's
up
how he's going to
and
go
sits
down is a marketing genius.
Yeah. It's
Marketing genius and sometimes stand-up Louis C.K.
Right. So I guess he sends out an email, I think it said every week.
Yeah.
And it has typos and punctuation problems and cursing. And it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And he sends out an email every week about what's going down. And then he has to send out many weeks a second email correcting the information that was in the email.
That's great.
It's fascinating.
Oh, they think he's doing that on purpose, and that's part of his genius?
Well, I don't know. I think they were suggesting that other people do it on purpose. And you're like, I don't think you can do that. I don't. The mistake that somebody makes that people find interesting, they said they know his it's his brand or the people. They love that shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, but they love it because he does it.
And
if I did
it's
it,
accidental and organic and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not anything. You can't it's like trying to recreate the second season of Last Comic Standing. Like, you can't, like, the first season
Was
of
that your season?
Well, I don't know.
Why does the second season stand out so much that you
it stands
reference
out
it?
with how horrible it was. Because the first season of Last Comic Standing was actually them sitting around.
Corey and Ross and Rich,
Rich and Dave Mordahl and Ralphie May sitting around just beating up on Dat Fan in a green room situation.
So pleasurable.
Just awful and hilarious and, quite honestly, mesmerizing. It was mesmerizing. I was like, oh my God, Dave is being such a dick.
Yeah.
Look at Dave. Anyway, Dave Mordahl. I love Dave Mordahl.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing radio in Minneapolis now.
Oh.
The KQ.
I always wonder how comics feel about that. That's got to be.
Well, he went on the road hardcore because
really good comics. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really difficult transition.
Yeah, and I think he didn't like how much road he was doing. Plus, I think his son was like 12 at the time.
Yeah,
and he was like, I can't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'd like to be around.
Yeah.
To watch this,
dude. I get it.
To watch the disaster of this kid's childhood life.
Yeah,
his teenage years. But now he's I think he's like 6. I don't know how old he is, but now he's like, nah, I don't want to go on the road. I'm tired.
Yeah,
and you're like, well, if you got a radio show, what do you care?
Yeah,
so you're fine. Speaking of busting on people in green rooms, so I got in a Twitter thing, and this happened on Facebook too, where there are comics who are button pushers.
Right.
I know it's hard to believe, and they're oftentimes gentlemen, guys.
Right.
And so on my personal Facebook page, I am the biggest commie, left-wing, anarchic person in the world. And I'm like, be nice to each other. And don't forget to give out money to the homeless or whatever.
Right.
And so I get, and like gun control and all the things. I talk about all the things on my personal page.
Sure.
And I get shit from libertarian comics or conservative comics and that are friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so the riffing goes back and it's electronic, right? And then on Twitter, I just got in a big fight on Twitter with another comic who I thought we were discussing Trump. He thought we were discussing Hillary.
What?
Yeah.
How do you, even the pronouns don't match. How does that happen?
Right. Well, I don't know because I thought we were discussing it. And then all of a sudden we were fighting. And then I was kind of winning the argument, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then he brought it down to green room level.
Really?
Yeah. And then guess who joined him right down there?
Huh.
This one, Jackie Cation. Not great.
You brought a knife to a knife fight, eh?
Right. I brought a knife to a knife fight. He, at one point, said he was essentially losing the argument.
Yeah.
And he said, wow, I feel like I'm talking to my mom. Yeah.
Oh. I know who you're talking about, but we're not saying his name.
No.
Isn't he just
fine.
a couple years younger than you?
Yeah. Well, and
Okay.
he was, and it was just like if we had been in a green room and he had said it, I would be like, hey, asshat.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And so that's what I said on Twitter. I said, hey, asshat, what the fuck? And then I said to him, why don't you ask? And he was like, what? And then I said, why? And this is what I wrote back. That is not great. Mm-hmm. I said, why don't you ask a woman you respect why that's offensive?
I don't think that's terrible. You're accusing
it's
him of not respecting you.
Right. It's a bit of a zinger is what
Sure.
I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
a zinger replaced by another fucking zinger.
Yeah.
I brought a knife to a knife fight.
Yeah.
And then we had to go into DM. We had to go into direct messaging for me to go, hey, dude. And he was like, because what had happened is it's the difference between sitting around and talking to somebody and riffing and busting on somebody.
Yeah.
And doing it online.
Yeah.
Like the Facebook guy, he was busting on me so hardcore, and I brought that to personal message too. There's a Chicago comic who's very conservative, and I said, dude, you cannot say weird shit about me being a woman and sort of just, weird, like slamming kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought we were having a real conversation. And he was like, oh, I get it. And then 6 months later, he does it again. And so then I blocked him, and then he emailed me.
Yeah.
Like I unfriended him. I didn't block him. I just unfriended him on Facebook. And he was like, hey, I'm sorry. I guess that was too much. And I was like, it is too much. Let's just be friends in real life. We don't have to do it online.
Yeah. You don't get to shit on my Facebook page.
Not on my Facebook page.
Curate it.
Yeah.
As I accept every friendship I find.
But I do
you know what I
curate
mean?
it.
Yeah, I do. Like, I don't want. Yeah,
I keep it civil.
This. First of all, is there a funny conservative comedian that I don't know about? Because I don't know a single one that's ever made me laugh.
I can't name.
Okay, thanks.
Right. And okay, so
I mean, I know
he's funny about things that are not politics.
they get laughs
yes.
from their dumb audience, but do they?
Guess what? This episode, Lori's mad. I had rage last episode.
This is the day after the Trump rally was canceled in Chicago, which it brought out everybody, right?
Right.
Everybody is on Twitter, and it brought out everybody. But
I didn't know what happened. I was in Phoenix, so
I don't understand how a comic can support Trump. Unless you're a Trump impersonator, like then I get it. Then you're
right.
you've got a mortgage to pay.
Yeah,
I understand
exactly.
But and then there's like this subset. I don't know how much we should get into politics.
Well, I mean, the thing is I'm against Trump. I'm against racism, and I'm against button pushing. And the guy's a salesman.
There's a subset of comedians that are hate Obama's position on Israel, and that's what they're voting on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so one of them was on my Facebook page talking about Israel. And, I want to go into it, and I don't want to step into that
It's a quicksand, man.
Yeah,
What
it
a
is. I mean,
quicksand.
militarily, we shouldn't be there, and comedically, we shouldn't be there in the Middle East.
right.
Let's just let them sort it out. So
Yeah.
I have no solution on either front.
And that's the real thing, is that there's no solution.
Yeah.
And my thing with Trump is that guy, I mean, I come from a sales background, so I know exactly, that guy sells mediocre steaks and glass chandeliers to people who want to pretend they're rich for 2 hours.
Right.
And nobody does it better. Nobody's a better salesman to middle class or poor people, making them think that they're rich for 3 hours, than Donald Trump. And that's what people are electing. They love the idea that they're like, oh my God, look at how beautiful Trump Towers is, or this casino that has these fake chandeliers, and then all you can eat lobster tails from 4 days ago. And I mean, it's all mediocrity. It's packaged in guilt, and it's all painted with gold, and
it's people who enjoy Las Vegas.
He sells Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I get it. Everyone wants to be rich in America. And if you don't know that you're being sold fake rich, Trump University, that education isn't great.
Well, how dare you? I'm a grad.
Did you get your somebody tweeted something about getting their Jedi certification.
Anyway. I just worry about going too much into, because everyone's talking about, like,
it's too much.
It's too much Trump.
Yeah, but I do love the idea that if you don't have a solution, you can't really joke about it. That's why I don't do political comedy, because I don't have a solution.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because I want to fix prison rape with my prison rape joke.
I want to set people on fire. So that's my. That's not.
Yeah, it's rage.
Solution.
It's full of, no, that is not a comedian. What about unflattering stage photographs making their way to Facebook?
I have several photograph ideas.
Do you?
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay, we had this a couple of weeks ago now. Kim Kardashian posted the
I heard
selfie.
Something about that.
It
was
really,
a selfie of her boobs or something?
No,
what happened?
she's like got a bar across her nipples and a bar across her vagina.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and she looks amazing.
Right, she just had a baby, didn't she?
2 weeks, two kids now. But I don't know. I guess I thought since she had a baby, she had become a little more responsible, and that she's more about money and
you don't know any alcoholics, do you? All right.
That she has a daughter, and I don't know. I have nieces, and you're just like, another. Can we just start providing more examples to girls and to women that aren't naked,
that aren't noodling?
But then people, there was like, that's slut shaming, and I guess it is. I don't know. I just became.
Why did she do it?
Fatigued by her body.
I don't follow any of this stuff, right? So I don't know anything that's happening. So what you're telling me was that 2 weeks ago or whatever, Kim Kardashian did a selfie of herself nude but with her bits covered.
Yeah.
And the internet went batshit.
Yes.
And what do I think of that? You didn't ask, but
No.
I always ask myself, what do I think about that? And I think her bits are covered, so she's just, I think it's like any selfie. I took a picture of myself in my new Harry Potter hat. Did anybody give a shit? Nobody really. They were like, oh, nice hat. Well, and she's like, oh, look at you.
I guess I thought Kim Kardashian had changed.
Well,
I thought that motherhood had changed her. I thought.
Right, that she wouldn't do that.
Why is this woman even occupying one brain cell in my head?
Because she's a hell of a marketer. She's the female Donald Trump, except for that. I mean,
look, even Louis C.K. can't keep up with Kim Kardashian's marketing.
No, are you kidding? I bet you she sends out a perfectly, and I bet you her website. Have you ever been to Kim Kardashian's website?
No.
She must have a website, right?
Sure, why not?
Why not? I bet you it's a lot of. Do you think it's bells and whistles, or do you think it's super classy looking?
But
maybe that's where she's keeping her class.
Here's a larger thing is we were kind of like, at work, we were throwing around, I don't know how to get it. I have to like not even. Someone sent me a picture of a female comic who I don't particularly enjoy.
All right. A Whitney Brown. No. That's not a woman comic.
No, that is a dead singer, one of America's greatest singers.
The Whitney Brown is what I really want.
So, and it was similar to Kim Kardashian's selfie.
Oh, okay.
And and then it just reminded me there's not a lot of them, but there are like some female comics where I feel like they're throwing everything at the wall. They're like, here's my act, here's my abs. What's going to make me famous?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
that's I don't think that's an illusion. I think you are correct.
Right. And it's I we're all performing, we're all trying to do stuff, but then and also there's a way of like Margaret Cho does it, but she's fucking revolutionary. She's
The stand-up.
It
holds up.
And with her body and sexualizing, but she's like owning it. And I feel like she's doing it in a way like, fuck you, this is the way I look.
Right.
And you're going to think it's hot, you know? And part of it is her personality. And then there's this other way of like.
But it's not some 23-year-old who is hot.
Yeah.
It's is that?
Or hot. According to like this
hot
is what
by
guys
comedy
like.
standards.
Yeah,
hot by
by 17-year-old boy standards.
Oh, there
you know
go.
what I mean. And it's sort of I always feel like, well, why are you doing comedy? But then who am I to ask why anyone's doing comedy?
I mean, because we have a podcast.
I've been very inarticulate because I'm trying to be very careful.
Right, because you're trying to be nice about it, but you're also like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And it doesn't serve you. In the long run, as you get older, it's not going to serve you because you get good at selling your looks. That's, and
they will fade.
But the energy you spend is what you become good at. So if you spend a lot of energy writing, you're going to become a really good writer.
Yeah.
And if you spend kind of your energy writing, but a lot of it working on your persona, that's what you're going to be. And if part of your persona is how you look, it's going to go away. And then you're left with the skill of, I have the skill of being hot and beautiful, but I'm 50.
Right.
And it's a useless skill versus if you have the skill of writing jokes, you're 50, you're going to be a real fucking good joke writer.
Right. I mean, it's aspiring to be Kim Kardashian versus it's aspiring to be Maria Bamford.
Malala. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to, there's the younger comics. There's so much this marketing thing with Louis C.K. There's so much pressure to be on all these different things and to make sure that you're marketing and to make sure that your YouTube channel constantly has contact. And if you want people to give to your Patreon and I've
Patreon. What's that?
Patreon. Well, everybody's like Dork Forest. You gotta get the Patreon. You gotta do.
What's Patreon? What do you mean?
It's a monthly giving kind of thing. It's like Kickstarter, but people give monthly, and then you have to put content.
Okay.
It's a donation thing, like PayPal or whatever. But Patreon is all hooked up to. It's like Kickstarter and a donation button together. So because you constantly have to create content on that. I'm not doing Patreon for the Dork Forest. I'm doing Bandcamp, and I'm doing PayPal where there's a donation button, and I don't even have a monthly thing set up because if you want to donate to the Dork Forest, you have to want to. You have to, and if you're listening to the show every week, you are reminded because I say every week. But I'm not going to set up. I hate a monthly giving thing where they just take $10 out of your or $20 out of your credit card every month. I don't even want an automatic withdrawal thing for my car payment,
right?
Because I'm a comic and it could all fall apart at any minute. So $10 a month. What if I don't have $10 a month? And so if you have $10 a month, give me it every month. But Patreon. And I do have constant content.
Do you get stuff? Do people donate frequently?
Yeah, people donate every month. I have people who listen to the show, and then so every, beginning of March, someone goes, here's $10, here's $6.
That's cool.
And it's fine. But there's so much pressure to be part of all of these different things. And they're like, are you on SoundCloud in addition to being on Libsyn? And you're like, stop talking. Stop. I also want to do stand-up comedy. Because I want to do stand-up more than I want to do all the marketing part of it, but I don't have the money. I once asked Chris Hardwick what he thought about hiring a PR person.
Yeah.
And first of all, I didn't know how much a PR person was.
Oh my God. Why aren't we PR people?
There's so
because you don't have to have any skills and you can charge $10,000 a month.
Right. And I and this was not long ago, so he had a bunch of, I think, shipmates money. It was after Singled Out,
right,
but
okay.
before Nerdist, so it was shipmate money.
Yeah, you got to spend your shipmate money. You can't hold on to that. Come on, man.
And I said, what do you think about I've been thinking about for the Dork Forest hiring. He had just started Nerdist, I think. And I said, hiring a PR person. And he just sighed exhaustedly.
Yeah.
And he said, I've never left an office of a PR person thinking, well, that was $20,000 well spent. And I was like, oh, 20 grand, no longer an issue. No longer something I have to think about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I have sympathy for the new comics because but don't get sucked into it is what I think you're saying, right?
No.
Don't get sucked into
That's
showing
not what I'm saying.
Do stand up. Don't worry about your looks. Don't send selfies out that look like
it's that obsession with, but it's that I guess it was
because you want them to write,
more
right?
specific thing. I mean, a more general thing of this is so hard to say without it's saying any. I'm trying to be bland, but say something like
just say it. And we'll
if
edit
you're a
around
comedian,
it.
you want to be liked, right?
Yes.
But you
desperately.
There, and there's
your boobs are part of you.
You want every part of you to be liked, but then you start to narrow your focus. And I want to be funny, and that's how you get to be liked. And then what I have seen. Okay, I'm an old comic. I'm 50. I've seen a couple examples of this where the person is like, or I want you to think I'm hot too. And I see it in male comics. There's a couple really hot male comics where you're like, your desire to be seen as sexy is ruining you. It's ruining your career.
Right.
Because
I totally agree.
You can only be funny or sexy. I mean, you can't be both. Now, people think funny people are sexy, but it's because they like
through
funny.
A separate door.
Yeah, exactly, a separate portal. And I see, the female comics I've seen that are trying to
be both equally.
Are
maddening.
Neither.
Are maddening. Are neither. It's
but
true.
that doesn't stop them from doing very well. Right.
Same with the dudes, by the way.
But it's
same with sexy dudes who are funny. They're both mediocrely funny and mediocrely sexy.
Yeah. Thank God. I'm thinking of several comics like that now that are male, and I'm like, okay, good. It's not a gender thing.
It's not just women. No.
It's and
it's not just gay guys.
Go through.
It's everybody.
I mean, and I don't feel like I'm talking to
every 22-year-old.
But
Jackie Cation said it, asshat.
90% of the people that are listening are going to go through the funny door, and the ones that are, they're not going to think while I'm talking about them, the ones that are doing both. They're just like,
oh, you must be talking about someone else? Do you think that?
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm not even. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is we also live here in Los Angeles. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We live here in Los Angeles where there is so much emphasis on looks. Mm-hmm. Which is why that joke that I'm trying to do about just put me in a fucking rock tumbler because I'm not ever going to be skinny.
Yeah.
And I'm not ever going to be younger than I am.
Right.
So those two things
are. In fact, this is the youngest you're ever going to be for the rest of your life.
And this is TikTok, you guys. And
that hurts when that's a saying, but when you internalize that, you're like, oh, fuck.
Right. And I've always looked some version of this.
Yeah.
So anybody who's ever wanted in on this has had to want in on this.
Yeah.
This is all that's been available for 30 fucking years. So sad, too bad. And that's fine. Some people have wanted it on it, and I'm fine. But Los Angeles makes you. I think there's something in the air. It's that whole thing about don't order the fries. You don't like fries. And, that thing, that's on the air. But also on the air is you got to be sexy as well as funny, especially if you start doing stand-up here in L.A. or in New York or wherever. And just, I would say, unsolicited advice-wise, and it's the worst thing in stand-up comedy, unsolicited advice, is just work on being funny, And you can be aware of your looks, but try not to sell the sexy. Sell the funny, right? Is that all right?
That's totally right. But what sucks is the industry sometimes goes, well, we want sexy.
Yes.
And here's all right, I'll talk around things. You can figure out how to get laughs. Mm-hmm. You can figure out how to get laughs.
Oh, right.
It's really
the cadence alone.
Easy to get laughs.
Yeah. What's
really hard is being funny and being unique and different and having a voice that's your own, and that takes decades.
Right.
So someone can get laughs and be hot, and the industry will, get really excited. You know,
and there will be thousands and thousands of dollars for 4 to 7 years.
Yeah, but is that person what? And then you're rewarded for that. Now, getting funny you have to be unfunny for a while to be funny, and
Right,
you
because you have to try weird shit.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to worry about rich people, but if you're already down that track, do you get to go left and go, I'm going to drop all this and be funny? You know
the
what I'm
people that
saying?
have already made it?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm worried about. I guess I was just depressed. I'm not even worried like a mother. I'm depressed as a selfish comic, like, abs.
Right.
Abs over fucking great
Hilarity.
jokes sometimes.
This is what I was told in 86. I was told by Vanda Michelowski.
Hmm.
Remember Vanda Michelowski?
I barely knew her, but I used to see
Vanda
her name
Michaels.
all around,
Yeah.
but I didn't know her.
Well, she wrote the greatest advice ever, which was, if you consistently make a room full of people laugh, there will always be work for you.
Yeah.
And that is true. It doesn't matter what you look like.
Yeah.
You can get the gastric bypass. You can pay somebody to make you work out. You can get plastic surgery. You can do and you can take a picture of your left nipple and send it to any number of agents in the world. And there might be short-term work for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the real work comes if you can consistently make a room full of people laugh. And the kind of comic that you want to be, I think, should entirely think about the comics that you love. That's who I aspire to.
I 100% agree, but if you're a person that consistently makes a room full of people laugh and you don't reach a certain level, you will be driven insane. I mean, I think we both know
yeah.
female
you're talking about
comics
road
that
guys.
aren't working anymore. I mean, guys too that are.
Are you talking about shitty road comics who are just mad that are bitter about other people's success?
No, I have a person
shit.
specifically in my head who I'm not going to name but it's like that was a really funny person, and she never got the TV credits she needed
And got mad.
never got all that, and kind of lost it,
And stopped writing and stopped being
No. I'm
funny?
saying just like stopped comedy.
Oh.
That's what I guess it's.
I am confused.
I am confused too. It's depressing sometimes when what you see, what's rewarded as in show business.
Oh,
It took me that long to say that. Oh my god! I think all my problems have been crystallized in this attempt to say that show business is shallow. Oh my god!
oh my God! Somebody embroider that on a pillow. Oh, quickly. Get the different embroidery thread colors,
But
and then put a flower next to it. Sometimes it's depressing at what is rewarded in show business.
When you're good and you're killing and you feel bulletproof and you're like, something's got to happen. Something's good's got to happen because I'm fucking good at this.
Right.
And then it doesn't. Madness ensues.
Madness can ensue, but that's where constant vigilance comes in. Mad Eye Moody. Here's the thing. You got to know to yourself, you got to know out loud that just because you're bulletproof and you're really, really good at what you do, you get what you fucking get.
Oh God, that sounded angry.
It is, because sometimes you have to be literally, I fight bitterness regularly.
Me too.
Regularly. Not every day.
I would say we both have pretty good lives.
We have amazing lives.
Yeah,
amazing
and
careers.
we are fighting bitterness.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So think about somebody who was really funny and is on the road and is like, oh, I came up with Drew Carey.
Yeah.
That guy made it and I didn't make it. And
Yep.
I'm all sad and mad about it. And you're like,
How many comics had Judd Apatow as their feater act?
right. Right. And then super.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Right. And so you're like, so the thing is all. The problem is what you do with that bitterness. If
Right.
you take that bitterness and decide, you're like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to write shitty jokes and keep working the road, or I'm not going to, as long as you keep writing and keep trying to grow inside as a comic.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
That's the only thing you have control over.
Right.
The rest of it, because otherwise, if I'm going to get mad, if I'm going to get mad about the new comics who aren't very funny but are very pretty, getting a lot of stuff that I would like to get, that's fine. If I use it for motivation, but
Right.
the minute it steps over into they don't deserve that, shut up, Cation,
Yes.
because it doesn't
I'm just
matter.
frustrated about how not being able to sell my special, and it's not over yet, but it's just like.
Mine's over. I can't sell mine, and I think it's over. So I'm just selling it on DVD.
Right.
And so they're not, and the thing is you changed it. You were like, I'll do your weird freak show thing.
No. But I think it might actually be good. It hasn't been done. It's like
it's not done yet.
Still being edited.
So
and put
it's not
together
over
stuff.
yet.
But it's like I don't know. I was talking to somebody else, another female comic friend of ours, who spent $50,000 on her special.
Yeah,
and like, what the fuck are we supposed to spend that much money after 20 years in the business and no one gives a shit because we didn't have a bit of viral, fuck.
Yeah, it is. I was, when
who can afford to do that?
Well, no one. But I mean, it's the only thing you could do is print it and sell it yourself and put it on.
But people don't buy shit.
They do, but it's not
$50,000 worth.
It's slow play, man. It's slow play. You're not going to make, it's not Louis C.K. He set that $5 price point, and I remember thinking, hey, asshat, you have 100,000. You have 100,000.
Can we title this one, Hey, Asshat? Thank you.
It's, so like my special, this will make an excellent Horcrux, available on comedyfilmnerds.com, you guys.
Got it.
Is $10.
Yeah. And
it's $10 because it's a streaming, but the hard copy, if you want a DVD on my website, JackieCation.com, it's $20.
Do people order them?
Yeah. People order them. I just got a royalty check from Comedy Film Nerds because people ordered the download. And so it's fine. But I spent $20,000.
How long projected? How long do you think it'll take before you not even make a profit, break even on a comedy special?
Right. Well, it's been out now for a year and a half.
Right.
And I've probably made $2,000. So, I mean, maybe more. I don't know offhand. But here's the thing. I didn't do it before the money.
I know, but you're a professional and you deserve to.
The money.
When you put out a
correct.
great special, you deserve to be compensated for it.
Yes. Yes. And it was top 5 on vulture.com.
Fuck.
People liked it, right? Even a list liked it. So people like me, you guys. Sally Field.
You're great.
You're great. And you're special.
And
I can't wait to see your fucking thing. Now it's a mutual admiration society.
Don't worry.
Do you want to call it that?
No.
We're making Kyle Clark laugh, you guys. Let's talk about, what was the other, I know. As long as we're talking about depressing real stand-up things, I opened for Bamford.
Right.
Which, by the way, if one more person says to me, do you ever headline? Oh my God. It actually hurts my heart when people ask me that. I'm so sorry.
God.
But I love working with Maria Bamford because I get to watch Maria Bamford do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And her audiences are amazing and so giving and so open to whatever weirdo fucking thing I want to talk about.
Right.
So I get out, it's Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I did not like my set.
What kind of a venue are you working in Phoenix?
A 450 in a mall stand-up live.
Okay. I haven't worked that room.
Well, I guess Proops won't. Because it's next to a bowling alley in a mall.
I like it when you can be at where you won't work a room versus you can't.
Right.
It's the same ending as you're not working there, but one is taking a decision.
It's a weird looking room, and the staff was incredibly nice, of course, and everybody was, and the crowd was okay.
Yeah,
they were nice. The weird vibe about the room was that it was too well lit. I literally said on stage when I got on, I was like, "Is this how the room's going to be lit?" I should have done a sound check. I should have done and
who thinks you need to do a sound check in something that exists as a comedy club? Shouldn't they have that shit together?
Right. Well, and then I actually said out loud, "Does Todd Glass not work this room? Because why is there this lighting? Why is there this? This shouldn't be the lighting." And because Todd Glass always fixes lighting, and the lighting guy just hit all the lights except for the crowd. By the way, the crowd was lit, and then I was in the dark on stage. And I was like, and it was funny. It was very funny because he was screwing around. I was like, it's fine. It seems this is how I should be lit to look beautiful, and I'm very romantic. All of us in this lighting, and then I just stood there in silence until he fixed the lighting, and then so I started out as a jerk on stage, and so I didn't like my set. And so I thought the audience was a little stuffy. They were not. They were fine. And so, but have you ever spent, how you've spent your entire set being kind of vaguely mad?
Yeah, I would say I'd spent this entire podcast being vaguely mad.
Well, then, but afterwards, we're going to get so many emails and ats on Twitter saying this was the best episode. I got so many people coming up to me afterwards going, that was such a great show. Thank you so much. So funny, so smart.
Right.
And then, and Maria's opening her set these days with this amazing analogy about how her parents took her to see War Horse.
Yeah.
And she saw it because she liked Steven Spielberg. Remember E.T.? Anyway, so she saw War Horse, and as far as she's concerned, War Horse is a 14-hour documentary about how you torture horses through barbed wire. And then she pauses and she looks at the audience and she goes, "This may be your War Horse. You might have been brought here against your will." And I'm just saying, do whatever you need to do. Take yourself out to the bar, march like Martin Luther King. Take your freedom. Anyway, so like everybody enjoyed my set. I had a perfectly good set.
Yeah.
But because
But you were irritated.
I was irritated.
You didn't enjoy your set.
I didn't. I felt bad that I didn't destroy.
Right.
You know, because I'm only doing 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I should be able to appear genius-like with 30 minutes in front of a Maria Bamford audience.
If you write another 15, maybe you can headline.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll be able to close the show. Holy shit! I was so mad. But when you do really well and then you do just okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, clearly I'm not being carried off stage by a standing ovation. So sad.
Bullshit. Do you ever feel jealous of Maria?
You know what? I do feel jealous of Maria. Sometimes what it is I guess it's jealousy. Because like that sort of thing. Do you ever headline?
Yeah.
Like when I go on the road,
you want the same. At least know who I am. I don't have to be headlining this one, but at least fucking know.
Sometimes and it's got to be jealousy where I'm being treated as a feature.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm featuring. So hey, grow the fuck up is what I want to say to myself.
Right.
And that's like one of these situations where you have to remind yourself that your life is freaking amazing.
Right.
Calm yourself.
Yeah.
But it is practice. I have to practice reminding myself those things. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
I am Khalil Gibran. Allow me to say out loud what Deepak Chopra has told each and every one of you. It's a beautiful world. Anyway, but it is. It's not every. I'm not great. I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm screwed. So, we didn't pick any women to be the plug of the week this week.
Oh.
But I have 3 from Toronto.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Wait. Let's do one.
You got one?
Wait, hold on. On our list?
Yeah. We got the second page.
Wait a second.
You might have to clean this up.
Okay. How about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she just did Conan last year, right?
Yeah, Jenny Zagrino.
Jenny Zagrino.
Yeah,
hilarious.
super funny.
Really funny, really
and
interesting.
This is how
Zigrino.
Okay, this is how dumb I am. I saw her Conan set. I remember thinking it was funny, and then, of course, as all things in my brain, it goes away.
Of course.
So I'm working with her in a bar, and she went up in front of me, and I was like, "Wow, she's really funny. She should do Conan." Like, and I have no power, but I would definitely, if I think, I'll say,
you think good thoughts.
In case you're like me and you're like, I'm not good enough, and you need someone to say you should do this.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. So I thought maybe she doesn't realize how good she is.
Oh yeah.
I told her, like, that shit is so funny. You should do Conan.
And she
said,
I
did it. And I did that shit on Conan.
That was some of the material I did on Conan. But you're right. But so you felt like an asshole.
Yeah.
But you were correct. She was very funny.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You rediscover people every day, you guys. Jenny Zagrino, get out there. Watch the stand-up comedy of it, Jenny Zagrino.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And now, sadly, Jenny, we have to cross you out.
Right now, you have been crossed out of the ongoing list.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Yeah. So this oh shit, I forgot what are you doing this week? I'm going to Kirkland this week. I'm going to Seattle.
We are
doing Kirkland Laughs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's is that I work.
It's Angela and Dave.
I haven't worked that room.
That's outside of Seattle. That's because you do that crazy downtown room where they put you up.
They won't let you do both?
Youth hostel. I'm sure they'll let you. What do you mean to let you? You're Lori Kilmartin.
I'm from the 80s.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to work both?
Yeah. I do. I not only do, I don't do any of the weird, I don't do that weird
John,
basement.
it's not the underground. First of all, it's a historic club. All right.
Right.
Now,
who
it might-
cares?
yeah.
Do you like the idea that it's a historic club?
It was like one of the first clubs I ever worked.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
And now it wasn't a different part of that area
The
before
Parthenon?
I
Is it
saw
got,
Bill
like-
Hicks there, man.
Okay. Well,
And
that's
it's-
amazing.
You descend
How'd he
down.
do? How'd he do?
He's really good.
Was he? Yeah.
You descend. He should do Conan. You descend down steps, and
you love a basement. I do love a
yes,
basement.
and it's old brick and it's old underground Seattle brick. There's nothing not
Like
to love
old-timey
about it.
columns.
It's not at its peak as it was. Sadly,
Right.
Some. Oh, maybe we should talk about this too. A side thing is the comedy boom is it peaking? I've read a few articles where I'm like,
You've read some
really?
articles
Yeah,
that say
I read
that
some
we're
articles,
peaking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but.
So you know what comes after the peak? The decline.
Yeah,
The decline of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never
But
done
it's
the
a great
underground.
room, and
I've tried to contact them. They've never been
really,
interested.
I'll put
Yeah.
in a word for you.
That's all right.
Okay.
I already do I do Kirkland and I do Tacoma.
You're good. That's
It's,
enough flights up to the Northwest every year.
Yeah, I mean I could do the underground. Does it pay fair? Is it good?
Pay?
Yeah. Does it pay money?
I don't. It probably doesn't pay as good as Laughs.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but because the thing is there should
Yeah.
be an amazing comedy club in Seattle.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, it's historically it's an amazing comedy town. But why do people have to go out of town? Why do you got to go to Tacoma or Kirkland?
Well,
That's so
Kirkland's
weird.
just a suburb of. It's like going to you know.
Van Nuys or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
going to a suburb. But I mean, it's and is it just a weekend room? And
It's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
and they got okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then it's
What
a
he'll do-
hotel.
He'll
and-
do is he'll price line a hotel the day, the day of the gig. You don't really know.
I really want to be your PA. I want to be Lori Kilmartin's personal appearance person. Jackie at JackieCation.com.
Sometimes they work gigs for sentimental purposes, for sentimental reasons.
Yes.
Okay.
I have done that myself. I did a weird Indian casino for Tom Hansen last summer.
That is unnecessary.
See, you
Yeah.
would think that was unnecessary. I think that this is unnecessary to do a shitty, weird
but the
weekend.
other thing-
at a Priceline hotel.
It's not shitty. And, I'm not in a position where I know my week's off, not too far in advance. So that's when I say, hey, I have this open. And somebody that doesn't pay a lot often has the weeks open that I need because no one wants to work.
Right,
for
and
that
you have
shitty
a
money.
job, so you don't have to make.
Let's not put that out there.
Oh, Jesus! Okay,
That I don't have to make a lot of money
Okay.
at a stand-up gig.
I want you to make all the money.
Thank you.
I
Me
want
too.
you to
I
make
still have
$5,000 a week.
special to pay for.
Right. Right. And what I want you to do is I want you to make, and I think that guy is taking advantage of you. That's what fucking pisses me off. Because I think you could make a real amount of money. And, but Tom Hansen,
Yeah.
why did he take that money? Why did he take most of the money? Why did I work that gig? Because for sentimental reasons.
Right.
So I get it. I
Okay.
get it. I do the same shit.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I see injustice in you, but I don't see it in myself.
Ah, same here. Yeah, I
You see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but
How okay if comedy if the boom is
right, the
dying,
boom.
okay, if the boom is ending, so what's that?
Right.
So because there have been so many more improvs built and they're gigantic rooms.
they're
and
all 450, 500 people.
Yeah,
It's too big. It's not too big
How-
if you're doing a theater. It's too big if it's a weekend room. You got to fill it 5 times. Like I think
Yeah.
the in Denver, the second Comedy Works is also like that too, where it's 400 people, where it's too big. In my opinion, like
yeah,
the House of Comedy,
but
400
even if-
people.
I don't know.
It's
Cobb's is a gigantic room.
Cobb's
But when
450,
it's that
500.
big, you also
But Live
have
Nation
to,
is booking that.
You spend a lot of energy managing the crowd.
Yeah, you got to hit the back of the wall and
Yeah,
wait for
and
the
that
laugh.
that takes away from the delicate embroidery you would do in a smaller room.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
The little tiny flowers.
Maria's
you're
doing this
creating.
thing where she tweets at people.
Yeah.
and she's like, "Hey, do you want to hear my hour?" And she meets them in a coffee shop in Eagle Rock and does her hour at some stranger from Twitter.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got to work on the hour.
She's
And
sitting.
she buys them coffee and a scone.
Oh my God.
It's the funniest, greatest thing
Is
in the
this
world.
being recorded?
No, but I think that's probably that should be her next special, don't you think? She did it for her parents in her living room. I say go to a coffee shop with a stranger from Twitter. And she's like, oh yeah, I would do that.
How about half of it is that, and then like workshopping a joke.
And the other is Madison Square Garden.
Thank you. Exactly.
Really? Oh,
exactly.
shit, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go from one audience member to 10,000 or whatever.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell her about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like, I do like, I mean, I've been in that room, that underground room. It's beautiful. I mean, as far as like, it's got the good dank. It's got the good, creepy, awesome,
Yes.
120
Good
people
dank.
staring at you, and you get to tell them your personal stories.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do in stand-up comedy.
So you're going to Kirkland this weekend.
So I'm going to Kirkland, which is just a normal, it's probably 180,
Yeah.
200. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's just normal sized. And then, but the weird thing is I do think, what they said about the Boom is that there's too many comics or there's too many rooms. So they're booking comics who can't do the time.
Yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
the Boom ended.
Vine Stars.
Vine Stars is that's when the Boom ended. Is when
Right.
all you have is YouTube followers and you
Right.
don't have 45 minutes.
Right.
I don't know if that's happening. I don't think that's happening.
I don't know either. I read like Sean McCarthy from the Comics Comic had
Okay.
a kind of an article about, and he was quoting Tim Goodman, who's a reviewer for the Hollywood Reporter.
Okay, so it's a parade of quotes on the Boom might be over,
telephone.
you guys. It's telephone. Yeah. So fair enough. I don't know.
I feel like because I'm tethered here, and I'm I feel out of those conversations, Boom conversations.
I'll have that conversation with you.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk more about the Boom. It's a safe space.
I'm going to New York
Oh, are you?
for like 4 days. We have like a next Friday,
Yeah,
which is
off.
for us March 18th. We have off, so I'm flying out on Thursday night and then coming back on Sunday.
Oh, so you'll do a bunch of sets again.
Do a couple sets, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's a I have to do this for other reasons to
Yeah.
go to New York frequently, and it's a hard flight. It's 9:30 at night, and
You do the red eye?
yeah, it's hard. I can't sleep on the red eye, and traveling is so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Can you get business or first class or? I mean, it's such a fortune.
JetBlue is like 900. Mint is 900. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah,
It's twice as much as it ought to be.
3 times as much
Three
as
times as you can get.
yeah. So no,
So no. Yeah. So no, you're sitting
So
upright
I'm like,
for
I'm
6
super
hours.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I figured out at first. I thought, well, I
I
took
used
a
to be
bunch.
able to sleep.
I know. I took a bunch of windows. Like I ordered, I got some flights and they were windows, and I'm like, I'll just fall asleep. And then I didn't, and then I was stuck.
Yeah.
In this aisle. So now I'm doing aisles, so at least I can stick my leg out partially.
Okay.
Until and trip people. Right. But it's so uncomfortable, and I can't. I'm just staying up the whole time, and I get into Manhattan around 6 a.m. and
And then-
go out to my apartment, and then I
then there's a
sleep
dead day.
for like 8
Yeah.
hours. It's a dead day, and I wake up and it's like 7 o'clock at night, and I'm ready to do spots,
Then you can do spots, but whatever.
and then
Get
I
it- Do you do that thing in New York where you go out after sets? That's my favorite thing in New York is to go out to a diner at like 12:30, 1 in the morning.
There's not a lot of diners in New York anymore.
Boo!
They've turned. It's a lot of them have closed, and they've kind of it's all niche little restaurants and stuff. There's not
Are they
as many
open?
diners.
Yeah.
No, a lot
Because
of
we had to travel. I think the last time I did it with Joe Zimmerman and a bunch of local guys.
Yeah.
And we had to walk. We had to look.
usually
for a diner.
Yeah, usually you just hang out at the club. Like the Stand has great food. So
Yeah, the
you
Stand
hang
is
out at
pretty
the
good.
Stand. If
Yeah.
you're at the Cellar's great food. I mean, that's where
Oh,
all the
does it?
comics are hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah, the upstairs, the Olive Garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it called the Olive Garden?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Is it not an Olive Garden? Is it? It's not the chain, the Olive Garden.
No.
No.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
it's not. Oh, it's
I
the
think
Olive
it's-
Tree. Oh
The
my
Olive
god.
Tree. There we go. Do you go up at the cellar?
I used to. Here's the like.
It's
okay,
a row, right?
The last.
It's a chore to get up.
No,
No?
here. Well, hold on. The last time I worked the cellar, I was pregnant. I was like about 8 months pregnant, and I
Okay.
had I think I had like a 12:30 spot on a Tuesday.
Oof.
And I was like, oh, she doesn't like me anymore. I'm being phased out, because I was getting fewer and fewer spots. And then, I don't know, that one,
So did you stop sending your avails?
then I had a baby.
Right.
Because he was about to come out. And then,
So when was the last time you asked?
that week.
That was the last time you asked to go up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to ask. I want to live vicariously through you. I want you to be a seller comic.
I don't know. Here's the thing.
So
I felt like, well, that's how she phases people out. She slowly. No, it is. It really is.
Possibly,
so I'm like, I was
yeah.
being phased out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to be angry. I was like, I got to work the cellar during an amazing time.
Yeah.
When I was writing for Tough Crowd, I was hosting at the cellar. So I would be there from 8 till 2 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And Artie Fuqua was frequently last, and he would always blow the light, and I'd be like laying on a bench going, please fucking wrap, please, because I had to wake up and go to Tough Crowd tomorrow morning,
Right.
But at the same time, I loved it. I'm every piece of comedy meat is being picked off this bone,
Yeah.
So
It's a horrible
it was
image,
awesome.
but I get it. I'm
it
with
was
you.
awesome. And Patrice wasn't, I think he wasn't working the cellar at that time, but it was Geraldo and Norton and Keith Robinson and Richard. It was like everybody, was there then.
Louis?
And so no, he was in LA at that time.
Okay.
But it was like really magical and Colin, and I was so thrilled to be part of it. And then I was like, oh, that magical time's ending,
Right.
when I was pregnant. And because I felt like a lot of things were ending when I was pregnant. I felt like the business was like, oh, bye-bye. You had a baby. Adios.
Right.
You're not one of us anymore.
And then you regrouped. You got to regroup.
I did regroup. But so that ends. And
Women, don't let the baby get you out of your career.
No.
Regroup.
It felt like that was happening.
Right.
I mean, my agent dropped me at CAA.
Right. Fuck.
Yeah.
Dropped
me like I dropped a baby. Okay. So anyway, so then I stopped working the cellar, and then because I didn't want to cry, I stopped asking.
Okay.
I probably take myself out of a lot of things because
That's it.
I can't control how upset I'll be.
People take themselves out of it, and
Right.
and I have no idea why I keep asking. And it's probably because I was taught to cold call at a very young age.
Oh my God.
And so
Yeah.
when you say no to me, all I hear is, okay, not today.
See, you railed earlier against Donald Trump, but you have a little bit of Trump in you.
I mean, that's why I hate him, is because I know the kind of salesman that he is. He's the guy who's going to sell you a mediocre steak. He's the guy who's going to carpet the entire nation with that stuff in casinos. He's going to hide all the fucking clocks, and we're not going to be able to get out of this country. He's out of his goddamn mind. And
okay, all right. I'm sorry. I activated Trump.
Yeah,
I activated the Trump in her. I meant as a little offhand comment, and
he's Bob Stimmick. Bob Stimmick is a guy that my dad was a friend of my dad's, and such a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Bob Stimmick talked his ex-wife into remarrying him on her deathbed.
For money?
Yep.
Does he book a club now?
Bob Stimmick is blessedly dead. Bob Stimmick died last year. Whenever my dad would tell me a Bob Stimmick story, I would always say, this is where this line came, as I always say, Dad, Bob Stimmick's not the hero of that story. Bob Stimmick is a horror. And my dad would be like, this is a funny guy. It's a funny guy. Don't you think it's a funny guy? And I was like, no, I think he's a goddamn nightmare, Dad.
Never trust a guy whose name sounds like stomach but isn't. So
Anyway.
the cellar. So then,
but I've always wanted to work the cellar, but I don't even know who to ask.
Then I moved to LA, right?
Okay.
Start my life over again. Now I'm not working a comedy store. Now I have the same feeling of like, if I ask and he says no, I'll fucking stab somebody. So I haven't asked. Okay. So, but then I go back to New York.
But you could work the comedy comeback or comedy feedback with Tommy, that guy who used to book
the feedback.
The comedy feedback.
Does he call? He should call it the feedback.
That's what it's called.
Is it?
Comedy feedback.
Oh, that's right.
Remember
Yeah,
the
I
musician
do remember the guy. I forget the name. Okay, so
I like comedy comeback.
So a couple trips to New York ago, I was working at another club in the Village. Like,
okay.
First of all, the cellar, because of Louis, it's almost become, it's like 9/11. It's like the Empire State Building. You have to go to the cellar. It's a thing a tourists have to do now. They have to go to the Comedy Cellar.
Okay.
So they have 3 or 4 shows a night. Every single one is sold out. And so before, like when I was working it was like,
they opened up another one around the corner.
Yeah. It's nonstop. The Tuesday like 12:30 spot. One reason I was like, it's not a great spot.
Yeah.
Now it's a fucking awesome spot.
Yeah.
It's a crowd that's crazy and excited.
Oh, that's
right?
cool.
So
You were in the Village.
So I was in the Village, and I go, I'll just pop in,
see if there's anybody you know anybody. See if anyone's at the garden.
I'll go to the olive tree, and so I walk in, and and I'm thinking, am I going to be thrown out? Or even worse, who are you?
Right, if you're not going to be recognized.
Yeah, that's actually what I was afraid of, and that I would have to say I'm a comic and I used to work here.
Yeah.
So I walk in, and Estes, who is the one who books it, goes, I hear, Laurie! And it was Esty, and she comes up and she gives me a big hug.
She's the booker?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was like, wow, is this happening? I'm melting. Like I was
That's
so
awesome.
happy. And just
That's
to be
so
remembered,
great. Yeah.
And then we walk over to the table, which is the table. You can only sit at the table if you're passed.
Okay.
This sounds ridiculous, but it was a big deal.
It's very
because
clicky.
There's
It's super clicky
There's tables
sounding.
around the tables where when you want to be passed, you can sit at the tables around the table.
Okay, so it's a process.
It's a process. I don't think it's as strict now, but when I was unpassed, but I was dying for it, and I would stand near the table. I would stand behind the past comics and contribute to the conversation.
Right.
Or I would sit at the table that's near the past table.
You'd riff from afar.
I was in. Yes. Yeah. I toss in. Yeah. And then
anybody hear that? Anyway,
and then
go.
I got passed.
Yep. And you got to sit at the table.
And I got to sit at the table. And
Right.
it was fucking life changing.
Yeah.
Just that scoot over.
Yep.
Over a couple chairs.
Congratulations.
You're there.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so Estie's like, sit. So I sit at the table with Estie. And it was just everyone,
Who was there?
I don't remember, but it was
they were
everybody.
all comics that you know?
Yeah, it was all
Okay.
comics I knew. And, it was just fun.
But is so I've heard about this table, but the table is in the olive tree? It's not
It's in the olive tree. Yeah. It's
right.
right near the stairs. The table's in the very back corner, and the left are the stairs you use to go downstairs to your set. So like the MC will come up and go, you're up in 10, or you can kind of keep track of your time
Okay.
and stuff. But
Is the list over there too?
the list is at the table.
Nice.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so you walk up, you see, you check, you're like, I'm on a show with this,
Yep.
Like I should have taken pictures of the sets, the lists I was on.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Because
I do that
you
sometimes
never
at
think it's
Comedy
going to
and Magic.
end.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll end ever. You always think you'll always be passed at a certain club. And
But don't you think now that you could submit and you could go up?
I don't know. I mean,
I think you could.
I don't
think
know.
you should. And I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it next week. Please do it.
I don't even know. Like I think it's by email now, and not by. So
Well,
I'd have to ask someone for an email.
It turns out you know someone. You know several people that you could ask, it turns out. Yeah,
But part of me's like, oh, don't be greedy. Just accept that she gave you a big hug and she remembered you.
But don't you want to do a set?
Yes.
So go do a set. I mean, it's just a set.
I'm not. I'm not one of like.
It's this sort of languishing ambition. You have so much. You work so fucking hard.
You're right.
This sort of backing off from things, I would be like, why wouldn't you want to? Because
That's my whole life.
Well, you need to. I would like. Gramication over here would like you to act on your ambition, because I think you're the best, and I think you should go up everywhere, and I think you love it. Like when you were talking about it, you love it so much. Mm-hmm. How great would it be just to hang out? Because those are the fun people. I mean, and you go to the stand and you hang out with those people anyway.
Yeah.
But it would be another place to go up.
I know.
So it'd be fun. Here's my show at the Cellar. I've only done the one around the corner, the not cool one.
They're all cool.
But they're all cool, in my opinion, because
Right.
I get to do stand-up comedy, which is the thing I want to fucking do.
Right.
Anyway.
In New York City.
New York City, which is the greatest
the
place in the
pinnacle.
world. So
Yeah.
I'm doing a set list.
Troy's?
Conrad.
Okay, yeah.
Troy Conrad, Paul Provenza set list at the other one.
Wow.
So I've never been to the cellar. I don't know where it is. I find it. I go to the one, and I walk into the olive tree, and there's a door guy there, and it's 6:00 at night or 5:30 at night, and the show's not till 8. But I didn't know where it was, and I'm always 2 hours early for fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I show up and I say to the door guy, I was like, "Hey, so I'm on the 8:00 show, but I need to hang out for a little bit." And he looks at me and goes, "You're on the 8:00 show?" And I said,
what I was afraid would happen to me.
"That's why I'm telling this story, because that's exactly." And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Who are you?" He actually said, "Who are you?"
Ow.
And he goes, "What's your name?" And I said, "Calm down." Because I don't want to be treated like that.
Right.
And I said, "I'm a comic. I live in Los Angeles. I'm supposedly on a show at 8:00. If you say that I am not, that's fine. But I do stand-up comedy, and supposedly I'm on a show at this is the Comedy Cellar." And he goes, "Yeah, what's your name?" And I said, "Jackie Cation." And he said, "I've never heard of you. You're not on the list." And I said, "Okay, then maybe," you know how like when you check into a hotel that you're not under your name, sometimes it's just under the club.
You're under Troy Conrad's name.
Right. And so I said, "Well, the name of the show I'm doing is Set List. It's a themed show. So maybe that's weird." And he goes, "Oh, you're not here. You're not going up here. You're around the corner at the other one." And I was like, "Okay." In other news, it's still 2 hours before the club. Is there a coffee shop that I can hang out before it? And he goes, "Well, you can hang out here if you want. They have food." And I was like, "Okay, well, it's been great bonding with you." And so I went and I sat not at the. I was wondering where that table was, because you always want to see
where that you walk in. The bar's to the left, and then the bar curves, and then the table is at the very, very back.
Okay, because what
it's got a little tent that says for Comedy Cellar comedians.
Oh, that's
only
neat.
Or something. Yeah.
What I did was I went up the stairs into the olive tree.
Yeah.
And I sat right by the window.
Okay.
And I just had dinner like a person.
Great
Anyway,
food, right?
And the food was really good.
Yeah.
And then I walked around the corner, but it was actually 2 corners.
Yeah.
Because it's New York and everything's packed on top of each other. And then I did my set at the other one, which was packed as well.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the staff there was great.
It's
and
magical.
And the doorman was not a dick, and it was awesome. But it's always so funny when the doorman is like, I didn't think I was being cocky.
Yeah. Right.
I was just being, hey. Well, and that guy lost his. I think he has to deal with so many tourists so many times,
and so many comics that are
like have expectations
that are like you should be treated like a headliner because you're a headliner, and then there's like open micers that are like, "Welcome, I'm not fucking working here," and it might be coming at him with that attitude.
Right, he must deal with that.
And there's
attitude
a reason I'm doing
regular...
a guy voice.
But there's right. I think there are so many. I mean, he has to deal with so many freaking comics coming up to him so many freaking times that he's just like, the knee jerk reaction is, "Stop telling me that you belong here."
Yeah, right.
Like,
yes. Yeah.
And
I want to. Yeah, exactly.
But But what I have learned is also, like in Toronto when I was there a couple of weeks ago, there were so many comics, and they were like, it was flattering how well they did know me. Because I think of myself as a very well kept secret in show business. And so when the fact that they knew me, and they're like, "Well, I do stand up," and I was like, "So then we're peers."
Yeah.
I mean, because everyone who does stand up, we are peers.
You have that thing in common.
We have that thing in common. You can talk about doing stand up with me. I might judge any sort of sweeping statements you make, but I make sweeping statements, you might judge them.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's just it's comedy. The thing we all love.
Right.
The thing we all want to do. Mm-hmm. So, yay. I'm not due to go to New York until July. Oh, I did pick up a weekend in Vermont. The Burlingham Comedy Club, or the Vermont Comedy Club.
Burlington?
Birmingham?
No, not Burlingham. I've never.
Burlington?
Bingingham and Burlington, but Birmingham.
Maybe,
what did you say?
Hamilton. I'm going to Hamilton, Vermont.
You're going to Vermont.
I'm going to Vermont, which is the size of this table. Mm-hmm. And people should come and see. I don't know. It's in May somewhere, but I just picked it up.
Burlington. It's Bernie Sanders used to be the mayor of Burlington.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That outsider guy who's running for president.
I forgot. Wait, yes.
He's an outlier. He's a brand new guy into show business, 70-year-old Bernie Sanders, who's never taken a bad check from a lobbyist. That guy's Jesus. He's running. I remember him.
I'm picking up on sarcasm.
I like Bernie Sanders. I also enjoy Hillary Clinton.
Hillary,
she's making mistakes.
I hate to quote a tweet, but I
quote a tweet.
think I summed
Welcome
it up
to
when
the
she
Jackie
said,
and Laurie show where we quote a tweet corner.
our own tweets. It's
Yes.
the worst.
Oh, whatever. Nobody's reading your tweets.
It's so annoying when someone goes, as I say in the book. Well, as I said on Twitter.
What did you say on
Well,
Twitter?
she in a recent debate said, I'm not a natural politician like my husband or President Obama. And I said, she's a comedy writer who's being forced to do stand-up. But I do.
I missed that tweet. That's a great tweet.
I feel for her. And then she makes these boneheaded, that whole AIDS Nancy Reagan thing.
Yeah.
Like, I barely remember that time, but even I remember that Nancy Reagan did not open the conversation about AIDS. Oh my God.
Is that because I saw some people getting all mad at her about
you
stuff.
should Dan Savage's column. Like when you know,
I bet.
like I was a young girl, so I probably didn't have any gay friends or very few.
My sister's gay, and so most of her friends died.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she probably has the same anger as Savage. When you
She's
like count the friends on both hands.
On both hands.
That died from that. And
she was, literally, she was like, I'm going to another funeral.
Fuck.
And I'm like,
how old is your sister? Older than you?
2 years older than I am.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a very young time in our life to be losing all these people too.
Yeah. And they were all in their like late 20s and early 30s that were dying from AIDS. And so, yeah.
Well, anyway, so she said
she's
that
Nancy
very
Reagan
imperfect.
opened up the conversation about AIDS or HIV.
And
Nancy
again,
Reagan.
by the time this comes out, this will have been talked to death on cable news.
Yeah.
That's what I fear when we veer into politics.
Oh, right.
That we're gonna people will be like, oh, but this is the one place we don't want to hear it. I don't know.
Right, I don't know. Who knows? But we did promise at the first episode that we would talk about everything.
That's true.
So, but my favorite thing is when Nancy Reagan died, because she's 94.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone that old dies, I always say out loud, not a career cut tragically short. That's what I always think.
I told my mom, don't even think about it. Living to 94. Don't even fucking think about it. She's 78. No way.
And then another 15 years. Anyway, or whatever. But math. Anyway, so, but I said, not a career cut tragically short. And then I work across, Andy and I we're set up like a cubicle almost in our living room because his computer's facing mine. Mm-hmm. And he goes, except by marriage. Nancy Reagan's career was cut tragically short by marriage because she married that guy.
True. I wouldn't
and then
say
it went to
tragically.
And then, because she was a great actress, people said.
Was she?
People said.
Who said that?
No, I've never seen her in anything.
No.
I've only seen
it
clips
was
of his
a
stuff.
career cut mercifully short by marriage.
You've never seen her acting either?
I've seen it. It's
just okay. So it was not cut tragically
pretty
short?
girl in front of a camera, Louis B. Yeah. No.
Okay.
She's not Meryl.
So B movie.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It's not.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not anything.
They found
she
their
should have
homes.
gone into politics.
They landed where they were supposed to.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. So
Jane Wyman, his
the other
first
hand,
wife,
yeah,
great actress.
Okay. Yeah. He was divorced. Mm-hmm. People forget about him in the canonization process.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes.
Even Hillary Clinton forgets.
Sadly, even what about this article you sent me about Monique and how great she is?
Oh, that was an article about she got $50,000 for Precious. This is all stuff I sent you like around the Oscar times. Then we had like 3 weeks without podcast.
Right.
But
yes,
she hasn't really worked that much since. And
so hopefully that $50,000 got invested into something.
Jesus. And definitely not a white actress who got an Oscar
usually gets a lot of
Jennifer
work.
Lawrence is still working a lot, right?
Yeah.
And Monique won Best Supporting.
And no work.
I don't know what she's been in since then.
Right. You know what Viola Davis said about how the women in color and it's just they just don't get the opportunities.
Right. Yes.
And then a woman I know who is on General Hospital accidentally made a comment about how it's hard for everybody. And you're like, yes, it is. But it turns out it is indeed harder for women of color.
Right.
It is. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But black women, and you know what you don't get asked as a white woman when you go in for the audition? Do the accent. Nobody ever says that to a white woman, even though I did go for a German massage therapist for a Disney Channel movie.
Oh my God,
and
you would be perfect.
I can't.
Why were you not picked?
Because I couldn't do the accent. I don't do accents, so but they did like me.
You couldn't be a German American that immigrated to Wisconsin.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, why don't you just think of me as a German American?
Third generation, the granddaughter of the masseuse.
Yes, Sarah. Clink.
Clink. That's your German accent is saying clink.
It would be Hogan. It would be Hogan, first of all. And second of all, yeah.
All right.
You guys.
Well, first of all, I appreciate all your audition stories, but I'm thinking some of the reason you aren't cast isn't because of stereotypes.
No. It turns
Clink.
out. Clink. It could be the fact that I don't know how to act. You know, I went out because Maria's Netflix show is coming out May 20th. Lady Dynamite.
That's
awesome. Let's plug it. What the heck?
Let's plug it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a sitcom. I've seen one episode.
Yeah.
It's funny. And I have to admit, thank God. You know when a friend of yours does something?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, I hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It's weird and awesome and hilarious.
Oh, wow.
And the woman and the guy who plays her manager, who plays Bruce Smith,
Yeah.
is the best. Oh my God, it's so good.
Did it take a really long time for this to happen?
25 years for people to know that Maria Bamford should have had a sitcom.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't understand why people didn't just look at Maria Bamford in 1999 and go, oh, this woman should have her own sitcom.
Yes.
But nope.
Isn't it weird? You think, oh, she must be turning them down. Because I always think that with people like, oh, you must not want to work.
You know that
because you're so funny.
Janine Garofalo and Maria did an episode of The Dork Forest.
Yeah. Together?
Together.
Wow.
And they talked about their love of Susie Orman. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yes. So at the end of the episode, though, and I almost edited it out of this Dork Forest with Janine, because Janine was complaining, like we do, about her career.
Yeah.
When you can only complain laterally or up. Because everyone else, because she was actually talking about how she didn't, for pilot season, she had only gone out for one.
Yeah.
And a bunch of her friends were doing movies, and they didn't get her any bit parts or anything. And Maria and I looked at each other, and Maria said, Jackie, have you gone out for any pilots this year? And I said, I have not. Have you? And she said, no. And that actually surprised me. Maria doesn't go out for pilot season. It doesn't make any sense.
No, but even the way you say it, it's like she doesn't want it. Maria hasn't been asked.
Has not been asked.
That's insane.
It doesn't make any sense to me, right? But it was so funny because Maria and I just looked at each other and then looked at Janine and was like, you got to go out. That's a win. That's the win.
That Janine was only asked once is really shocking.
Is also really shocking, but it's only, more than the one time that neither of us got asked.
Wow.
And more than the one time that Maria Bamford should have been asked every single day of her life.
The wrong people are running show business.
It's depressing. Where's that pillow? Where's the pillow?
Like, don't they learn from their failures? Don't they learn from...
No, because it's a new 27-year-old every year, right? Isn't it?
The 28-year-old is shot and buried.
Right, fired. Obviously sent out into Death Valley. And so it's, what else do you want to talk about? I don't know where we're at time-wise.
We're in hour 12.
Oh, shit. Let's
power
it down.
Power down.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening.
Oh,
you know what?
Yeah.
If you want, I'm going to be headlining at Flappers in Burbank May 5th. Ooh, wait, 6th and 7th, whatever that Friday is. 6 and 7. So come on out for that. That would be really cool. It's like a regular headlining show. I get to do 45 and
that is awesome. Yeah. And follow Lori on any Lori 16.
Yeah, and follow Jackie Cation at Jackie Cation
on the Twitter and the whatnot.
Yep.
Have a good one, you guys.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.